Star Wars Shatterpoint, the Skirmish Miniatures game, is here, and with it is certainly going to be a lot of creativity from players and hobbyists when it comes to making terrain, or decor.
These look like just
That's
decor.
most of that is it comes with a whole bunch of terrain.
Terrain,
because
that's the word.
decor.
Decor.
I'm gonna start changing my mini gaming vocabulary.
The core box conveniently comes with some terrain, and Atomic Mass Games is also selling additional terrain boxes. However, many players are still going to want to buy or create their own terrain to give their tables more variety and personality. Terrain and verticality is a huge part of how Shatterpoint is meant to be played. Terrain is a must, hence its inclusion in the core box. Shatterpoint naturally has a number of rules dictating how characters interact with terrain, and if you're not aware of them, you might end up making terrain that could have unexpected or weird gameplay interactions. So here's the basic things you need to consider when making custom terrain for your Shatterpoint table. Think of things in 3-inch increments. In Shatterpoint, things are on the same elevation if they're within 3 inches. Movement is only hindered, requiring a climb rather than a dash or an advance, if it would go up an elevation. This is super important to keep in mind. For example, if you made a wall that was only 2.8 inches high, characters would be able to walk over it without any issue. Bump it up to 3 inches, and now they need to climb to get over it. Leave space for your minis. Bases in Shatterpoint are 40 millimeters and 50 millimeters. So be sure to leave at minimum 40 millimeters wide spaces on top of your terrain if you're expecting characters to be able to stand on top of it, because they're not allowed to be placed with their bases hanging over the edge even a little bit. You don't want to get a cool vertical terrain piece only to find out no one can actually stand on it. When you have a platform with space for miniatures underneath, be aware that the line of sight rules allow a character underneath a ceiling to see a character standing on top of it. This quirk of the rules is why the gantries provided in the core box have holes in them. So large things like suspended landing platforms might feel weird and should probably be avoided to make sure you don't run into this quirk of the rules. Unless, of course, you and your opponent agree that, hey, you can't see through this. Another thing to watch out for is ramps or slopes. Any ramp you have is at the elevation of its highest point, meaning if it's at a higher elevation than your character, they're only going to be able to get onto that ramp with a jump or a climb, even if it looks like logically they should be able to walk up it. And lastly, just remember the importance of ingress points. Just note if any terrain you're building or buying has a ladder or elevator or something like that, and just be aware of that because ingress points are important and very cool in this game. That's all for now. If you think I missed anything important that people should know about when selecting custom Shatterpoint terrain, let us know in the comments, and check out the links in the description for more cool Shatterpoint stuff.